Just visit the new CalgaryHerald.com with more of everything worth knowing.
Except they didn't expect to be here this early in November. They were hoping to be a week later here in November, but it is what it is. They didn't get it done last week in Regina, and as a consequence, the road to the Grey Cup leads through Regina, but first they have to take business today against the Eskimos.
You've been watching the practices all week. Is there any chance the Stamps are looking past Edmonton to Regina?
Nil, none whatsoever. That's just not the way John Huffnagel works. And you know what? I just don't think there's ever a case where teams can be accused of looking past an opponent. It's just that's the way it is. And in an 18-game season, each game is so valuable in and of itself to a team. They can't afford to be looking past the upcoming opponents. So yeah, their focus this week is entirely on the Eskimos, and for good cause. I mean, that's a hot team. They've won 2 in a row coming into this game. Archie Whitlock had 165 against BC last week. Ricky Ray is Ricky Ray. They know all about him. He's never lost a playoff game in the West Division. So yeah, there's enough on their plate before they have to start worrying about the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
I've heard all the cliches about it's a whole new season, everybody's 0-0, but the Stampeders have had significant luck against these Eskimos this season.
Particularly at this stadium, obviously, right? I mean, something like 65-17, they won the 2 games here in Calgary, and the Eskimos never showed a thing in both the games here. The 2 games up at Commonwealth, obviously, were shootouts, and I don't think the Stampeders want to get into that kind of situation. What they did well here against Edmonton is they tackled well, in essence. I mean, you know Ricky Ray is going to complete those 8 to 10 yard passes all day, but what the Stamps did a good job of in both those games is putting guys on the deck after they made the catch and preventing those yards after catch, and they have to continue that. And obviously, I mean, Archie Whitlock has become such a focus of that offense. They have to deal with him as well, and their run defense has improved over the last half of the season.
I heard some attempts at trash talk earlier in the week. Is there any bad blood, any animosity between these 2 squads?
Nah, not really. I mean, Maurice Lloyd is Maurice Lloyd. He'll do anything at this point. I mean, and let's face it, this is the time of season you got to pull out everything in your bag of tricks, and if that means doing a little trash talking, so be it. Did it have an effect? Zip. I mean, the Stampeders were practically laughing earlier in the week when they heard about the comments. So, yeah, does it get Mo Lloyd fired up? Yes. Has Mo Lloyd been effective against the Stampeders? Well, you could argue that. Joffrey Reynolds has had some big games against the Eskimos, and it's Mo Lloyd's primary responsibility to deal with Joffrey Reynolds, so read into that what you will.
What should fans watching the game this afternoon be keen on? Where's the game within the game?
I think there's a couple things. Last week in Regina, after a couple really good games hooking up with Romby Bryant, Henry Burris has really got to get that connection going again. The Rough Riders did a really nice job on Romby Bryant last week, I thought. He wasn't a factor in that game. He has to be a factor, and we all remember the last time that Romby Bryant played against the Eskimos, over 200 yards in receiving, so he has to be the weapon. And as always, Joffrey Reynolds. If they can get that run game going early, that just opens up so many options.